Hi guys, my name is Zin, and this week I am healed back to 100% health. COVID is finished. I don't have any more symptoms, so we're all good. So this week the temperature has really lowered in the last couple of days. It's down to single digits at night, and by looking at the forecast, it's looking like that's going to continue for the rest of the next 7 days at least. Probably going to be like that, you know, and then eventually we're going to the winter. Fall has started, so I have already moved all my tropicals, or at least most of them indoors. The only ones that are outside now are the jades, because I know the jades that can handle a cold a little bit. They can even take frost for a day. So they're still outside, but everything else, the ficus and everything, that's all indoors. There's only one ficus left, which is the one that I put in the ground. And in the ground they can handle a bit lower temperature in the single digits at night. It's okay. But I think today I'm going to move it in, and it has already grown, so I'm going to try to take it out with this spatula or little shovel, I guess. So we'll have a look. So this is the ficus that I put in the ground in the there we go, in early spring. When I put it in the ground, it was about maybe that high. It wasn't that big at all, and there's not that many leaves in it. It was much smaller, and the trunk was I would say half the size as it is now. So it's really grown a lot since I put this in, and it's quite full now. So it does really work if you want to grow something fast. Stick it in the ground, let it grow. Right now it's in a basket, so I'm sure the roots has already grown out of the basket into the into the surrounding soil. This is one of those pond baskets, so it's got a lot of holes. It's supposed to cut the roots off once it gets too thick, and then so they'll develop more thinner roots or finer roots on the inside. So I'm gonna dig this out. I'm gonna try it on camera and see if I could do it with one hand, and if not, then I'll obviously cut in. But we'll just see how this goes. I can feel that I'm cutting a lot of roots, but that might be something else, maybe not this particular tree. There's a lot of plants growing around it, other trees. But yeah, on this side I would think it's the ficus. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can take it out. Oh yeah, no. Okay, it's not budging. It feels quite firm, so I'm sure the roots has grown out in all directions, and that's why this guy is so vigorous. So I'm gonna go off camera and I'm gonna take this out, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay guys, I was able to get the tree out. As you can see, it barely fits in the frame of the shot, unless I put the camera even further. It's got a ton of roots that came out of the basket, and it doesn't look like it's cut the root. Actually, no, it does. Actually, you probably can't see it, but the root only gets bigger after it came out of the hole. I can see like bite marks in a way, where the roots inside is smaller, but it didn't really cut the roots off. Although I don't know, maybe it's smaller on the inside. I'm not really sure. But all this will have to go. I'm gonna keep this in this basket. I'll prune it back just a little bit. I think I want this tree to get bigger. Even though I don't really have the indoor space, but I'm just going to take the tip off a little bit and let it go a bit and let it keep growing, so it has more vigor, and it'll thicken up faster that way. So I don't want to prune it back that much, but at least this I'll have to, when I move it inside, I have to do this. And next year I think I'm going to try again to put this in the ground and see how much it can grow. I'll most likely move it into a bigger basket next year, and then just let it go, and it'll probably double in size in 1 year. So I'm going to start by taking the roots off first. All these extra roots, they'll have to go. I mean, I could leave them out there just like that and move it indoors and they'll just die up by themselves, but it takes a bit of room, so I'm just going to prune them off. Okay, so this shouldn't be too hard. Let me see if I can just do that. Yeah, see, the plastic is still intact. The hole is still small, and then it looks like the roots on the inside is still kind of thick, but I think the outside one was thicker. So it kind of stops. I don't know. I really have to repot this to see what's on the inside. But for now, I'm just gonna take all these off. But the rate of growth when the ficus is in the ground it's pretty amazing. It just grows tons. So I would say the basket has worked quite well, at least for now. It was relatively easy to get it out of the ground. And it really put on a lot of girth, which is what I wanted. This is the bottom. Doesn't have that many roots coming out of the bottom, which could be a good thing. So inside the container, it started with bonsai soil, but then I think over time just a lot of the regular garden soil got on top of it, which is fine, not a big deal. When I repot it, it'll all get cleaned up. I'm not going to repot it yet, but I think I will sometime in the winter, just to sort out the roots a bit and then get it ready for the next in-ground growing season. Yeah, like look at this. The plastic itself is not broken, but it is kind of getting pushed out by the roots. These finer ones I'm just going to leave them. They'll just die off by themselves. Not a big deal. Just want to remove the major ones. So that's all the roots I took off. Put some of the soil back in. So that's it for the roots. I'm going to prune this back just a little bit so that it fits indoors a little bit easier. I'll start the pruning from the top. Like I mentioned before, I kind of want this tree to get taller, the single trunk. Right now it's not straight. I mean, it's fairly straight, fairly upright. So if I cut, and what I found, what I found with experience is that if I cut the trunk, then it's gonna start going in a different direction. It kind of gives a fairly abrupt turn. It doesn't really split that nicely unless you cut it, when the branches are coming out and you cut that at that point, it looks okay. So for now, there is a new shoot over here that's going, pretty straight up, kind of a little bit of angle, but it's okay. So I'm just going to take the tips off at the top, and then I'll use that as the new leader. And the rest of the tree, I'm not going to touch too much, but there are some obvious things that I want to get rid of, like this branch here, which is going up, and it is interfering with everything that's there. So for these guys, I'm going to remove. There's another one that's on the inside that's kind of growing towards the inside. I'll take those off. These are just old leaves that the branch developed from. I'll remove that, especially like this. There's this branch over here, which I don't think I need. There's a nicer branch at the bottom, and there's one at the top. These are basically parallel, so I'll remove that as well. These are just leftover leaves from the branch. And again, there's another one of these upright branches, that this branch is going nicely coming out, and then you have this one that's going up, so I'll remove that. Same as the top here. I just want these to fan out, so it'll eventually create a large canopy. I do have a lot of lower branches, which I'm not really sure what to do with yet. There's 3, because when this tree, before I put it in the ground, it was like, well, this high, so these branches look nice. Right now they might be too low, but I'll leave them for now, and maybe I'll change my mind later. You know, maybe if I want a smaller tree, I have options at the bottom. So I will kind of fix this a bit. There's a few kind of upright branches that I am not interested in. That one, you know, that'll create more space in the tree. Like this one here, also going straight up. Let me just remove this old leaf first. There's a couple branches here, this one going more upright, but it's still at an angle, so I think that's okay. This one branch is naturally divided into 2. So I'll leave that. I'll remove this one here as that's going up. I just want this branch to fan out and continue to fan out. There's also a weird branch coming out the side here, which I think interferes with this branch. So I'm going to remove this one. Actually no, I'm going to keep that for now. If I remove this, there's a branch on that side which I'm keeping, and then there's another branch on that side. It's missing one in the middle if I take that off. But this here, this one that's going up, I will get rid of that. So all the bottom branches, or the lower branches, are more about fanning out. Nothing is going vertically up. This little thing here I will remove. So on the bottom there's 2 branches coming out this one spot. It makes the back look, or just that side looks really busy. There's 3 branches coming out here. See, there's 1, 2, and 3. Well, there's only 1 branch on that side. I'm going to remove this one here, I think, the one in the middle, which is coming out the same spot as this, but this particular branch, the flow is much better, so I'm going to get rid of that. Actually, I'm going to use the other pruner. So this branch, about this thick, this is the size of the ficus, of this ficus, and all my other ficuses. That's how big it was when I got it. It's about 2 years ago, and they were in a pot, the tiny pot. They're just, I think they're just rooted cuttings about this big, pencils, even thinner than a pencil, very, very thin. But over the last 2 years, it's grown, you know, quite large now. So they grow quite fast, which is good. So I think, oh, I got some sap on me. I'm not sure that's going to affect me or not, but we'll see. There's a branch here which kind of goes, this one is going up, but then the rest is kind of fanning out. There is a shoot that's going vertical, so I'll get rid of that. I thought about keeping this branch and getting rid of the top, but I think this might be too flat or too horizontal. And the top might be better. It's more of a better flow line. So I'm not going to remove that, but I'm just going to leave it. But I'll take the tips off and just reduce the vigor a bit. And there's like a branch or a leaf, old leaf. They're just like the leaf that the branch developed from, but they never, the leaf never drops, so I'll have to drop it for it, same as this. Here again, there's a nicely fanning out branch, and then there's another one that's going vertically up. Take that off. This one up here, kind of the same deal. And then this one up here. This is another old leaf. So I think that's all I'm going to do. I'm just removing some old leaves. But as far as the branching goes, everything is flat or more horizontal. I took off all the vertical shoots. And like I said, I want this tree to get bigger than it already is. And it's already quite big, like I don't have that many big trees. And this is already quite tall. And I think it's gonna fit indoors, but if it doesn't, then obviously I'll have to prune it back a little bit more, but I think this is okay for now. It's not that much pruning. As you can see, there's still a ton of stuff left. Let me but I don't want to prune too much off, because like I said, I want this to grow more and fast. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it, and we'll see how it grows. This will go indoors, and it'll slow down the growth by a lot for sure. That's just what happens because it's indoors. And I don't have I don't have strong lights or anything. I just have regular grow lights. They're nothing special. So, but yeah, we'll see. Not that much pruning, but it has really gained in size. This, before I put it in, it was tiny, and now it's like massive. So I think that's all for today for as far as the tree is concerned. Like I said, I moved all my tropical trees indoors. Most of everything outside is all deciduous. My health is back to normal, so that's good. I was a little bit worried, but not too worried. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. That's it for today. See you next time.